IVM.
We all love big surprises. And this IPL season, with the Cred Daily Jackpot, you could win a daily mystery reward every 13th over of the first innings of every match. So download Cred now and start paying off your credit card bills with it for some big wins.
Yes. Hello. How you doing?
Hi. No, that question is banned, Sunetro. Get with the times. No, how are you doing? How are you? What's been up till 2025?
No, as in, how are you doing? What's up? Or like, what's going on? What have you been up to in the past week?
Instant anxiety. When I was on, I say, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, okay.
I mean, everyone did something. Like you cooked something.
Okay.
That's the thing. We have to find joys
what
in little things.
Yeah.
So it's not about. I am not asking whether you built the Taj Mahal. So I'm asking whether.
I know even that seems easy to do with how tough life is.
No, as in we are all finding different things to do. It's just like the worst. I mean, I have to say I'm in a very different mood today for multiple reasons. One is, of course, Kerala and West Bengal showed the fucking country what needs to happen in this country. Particularly
and being
Kerala.
So dickish about it, right? Like, fuck you, run away, get out of here. I loved it.
Like, and what I loved about, West Bengal's, by the way, BJP's won 0 seats in Calcutta, and I'm so proud of my city. 0 seats in Calcutta. Of course, West Bengal still has a lot, but. What I loved was their campaign was so dickishly like anti-BJP. Like the campaign was no vote to BJP. It wasn't even about themselves. And truth be told, it's not like TMC is like some, amazing political party. It's just that it's a lesser devil. So I'm just like, it's just this moment of respite where you feel like there is like a little hope. Also because... only like 2 days back did I finally feel like I had an oral surgery last week and just 2 days back, and it was a serious oral surgery where like I went under anesthesia and stuff like that. So only 2 days back did I start feeling like you can see like a little aloo over here still.
Yeah.
So, like I started feeling normal, like I don't have to continuously be on painkillers and stuff. So, so at least that's what it takes to at least feel normal, like, get out of an oral surgery. That's when you feel normal today. So,
Wow. I saw a little piece of news that I would like to share.
Sure.
It's everyone's talking about vaccines. But everyone missed a very important piece of news that... Wow, okay. Squid wants to interrupt this conversation. Oh my God. Okay. One second. There is a new HIV vaccine, which for the first time has shown 97% efficacy. It's one of the first vaccines to do that. I don't know what to feel about HIV vaccine news anymore because it's been it keeps coming. This news keeps surfacing once every year, twice every year. And then for some odd reason, it just stays in like the testing phase forever. And nothing concrete has happened yet. But this was big news on Reddit. And I thought like, okay, I have to... Wow, that's great, right?
I know. It helps with... the obvious ramifications, but then it also, whenever there's a vaccine for something, immediately I think there's a lot less social outcasting and stigma and just you being less of a pariah, and still so bloody prevalent in our country. And how many people would be open? I mean, a couple of days back, I was talking to some people. People are not even ready to, in a place like Bombay, in an industry like advertising, people are not ready to disclose their sexual orientation, leave aside their HIV status. Why would people do that? So this would hopefully steer things in the right direction. So great news. So that's our first segment of the day, which is TickTalk, which is the most exciting news of the week. We'll be right back with our main topic of the day, which I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for. So we'll be right back with Big Talk.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We'd like to thank the sponsors on the network this week, Cred, Cied, TheWholeTruthFoods.com, and PayPal. We really appreciate your support. So this week on Cyrus Says, Cyrus had some interesting guests. Kayos Irani was on to talk about his new Netflix film, and Mayur Tekchandani has made a new coffee table book about the city of Mumbai, which he came to discuss on the show. On the Wire Talk, Siddharth Bhatia was joined by Dr. Ali Khan Mahmoodabad to talk about the Muslim community's issues during these thorny times. On the Habit Coach, Ashton Doctor is joined by Sonia Jas to talk about the importance of fitness and why this is a great time to begin a journey to good health. The Simplified Gang has reunited and they discuss the hue and cry around the European Super League that was eventually just dropped after 2 days. On Shunya One, Shilith and I are talking to Gurubat from PayPal India. We talk about fintech, the future of digital payments, and a whole lot more. Really deep and interesting conversation about PayPal, its plans in India, and what kind of hiring they're looking to do. On the Millennial Athlete, Tanvi and Shlok were joined by sport and performance psychologist Dr. Shri Advani to talk about mental health for young sports stars. And I just want to again mention some of our cricket shows. The IPL season is on and you should definitely check out Edges and Sledges. And we also have a Hindi show called Khel Niti. Do check that out as well. And with that, let me get you back to your show.
All right. So what are we talking about? We are talking about...
Cover girl, put the bass in your walk. Oh my God.
But why? Okay, so we are talking about RuPaul's Drag Race because obviously
it's a long time coming.
It's a long time coming, and also, I mean, it's every generation has this one show that almost becomes synonymous in the kind of reach and spread and effect it has on the queer community. And honestly, there's no second today. There is 0 seconds today because give me an example. Give me an example that has had this kind of an effect popularity-wise and the reach-wise.
Okay, no show has done that.
Exactly.
No show has done that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about quality. I'm talking about just the kind of
made it a brand.
Far-reaching. No, it's not about just that. I'm talking about the far-reaching ends, like how it's pervaded popular culture in a way like no other queer show has done in a while. I
agree.
I mean, like the number of memes that come out of that show, and the fact is there are people who have no idea. And that, I think that's where I feel like the show has really sort of, gone far. There are people who have no idea why they're saying it, where it comes from, but they say things like, not today, Satan, not today. And I'm like, do you know that's Bianca Del Rio? Do you even know who that
I think that existed even before RuPaul's, but sure.
Again, Farhad, I mean, I don't know why you're doing this quick.
I'm going to be a grouch about RuPaul's because, here's the deal. I attempted it yesterday, and here's a little background. When quarantine had started, the first lockdown had started, I had not watched RuPaul ever. I had attempted multiple times. I thought, no, not my cup of tea. But when the first lockdown was announced, I was like, okay, come on. I need something mindless. And I think this is a mindless show. Let me watch it. And suddenly I binged season 5 to 10. Did I enjoy it? No, but I felt like it was great company to have in the lockdown. Yeah. Fast forward to, I watched till season 10 and then 11, 12, 13. This newest one is 13, right? All these seasons came out and I was like, I had not watched those. And I knew we were going to discuss this today. So I attempted this weekend. I thought, let me binge. And again, it's a great time, right? There's a lockdown. I don't want to watch anything intense or heavy or something. So I thought RuPaul's might be a great fix. I started season 13. I don't know what it was, but I just couldn't go another minute. Like every minute was like.
So I'm going to ask you a controversial question.
Go on.
Is it too gay for you?
No. In fact, I question myself that why am I hating on this show so much? It's so silly and pointless. But I'll tell you what. I have an idea without having a sentence to explain it. But I have an idea of the kind of reality shows I like. And I like reality shows where contestants are kind of are honed in a way that they can be better. With Drag Race, it's become so.
But
I'm saying I'd not noticed.
But then give me an example.
Exactly. Okay, so I'd not noticed.
But then give me an example of a show where firstly, to rebut that, I think RuPaul's Drag Race is also that at the end of the day. That is the art of drag. What lip syncing is that, fashion is drag, and stand up is drag. And as a drag performer, if you go to like bars in, let's say, New York, for example, you have to have the skill set to be able to hold an audience for an hour, 2 hours by doing various things. You have to MC, you have to dance, you have to lip sync, you have to tell jokes, you have to be a stand-up comedian. And that's what this show is about, being a well-rounded entertainer, and of course still stand for the community in a big way in terms of what you stand for and what you believe in, and be a spokesperson for something larger than just entertainment. So I feel like it kind of is almost like a potpourri of so many different reality competitive shows sort of squeezed into one, and it follows the same tropes, like, the drama, the emotion and all of that. Name one show that really doesn't do that and is successful, Like, there is no show like that.
I was just going to say that, Project Runway is that...
American...
No. I'll tell you what, and I've not seen the last few...
Project Runway has enough emotion.
One second. I've not seen the last few seasons. Drama. I've not seen the last few seasons of Project Runway. But when I did watch it, I watched a good 5-6 seasons back then. I really felt the way the judges, the show is genuinely vested into giving, even right from what the prizes are, to how they are trained and the kind of feedback and the critique and everything that they get. I just felt that it is so constructive. First of all, with RuPaul, it's more than anything, I think it's the format that irritates me. First of all, it's become so like unnecessarily dramatic now. For example, when you cut into a commercial break and then it starts again and they start the drama like 2 minutes where they cut off, like again they repeat that. It's those little things that I started. Maybe I'm micro like picking on it, but
maybe because also
yesterday that's what was irritating me. I felt like the earlier seasons did not have that, but now it's more, even the little snide remarks and all of them.
But that's drag culture. That's drag culture. Reading each other is drag culture.
I get it. I'm saying, let's say there's a ramp. The first episode has everyone walking down the ramp and walking their favorite. Although this season they changed things up and made it more dramatic. And you directly have to do a lip sync in the first episode itself. Great, right? Okay, dramatic effect. I get it. But when they're walking down the ramp, usually whether it's towards the end or in the start, Michelle, Visage and all of them have that little running commentary and they all have those puns and all. Again, I felt like in the initial seasons, they were gold. Those puns were so good. But yesterday I was listening, I was like, oh, this is so bad. These are bad puns now. You know what I mean?
No, they're not. They're all derived from queer culture. Like, they are all derived from, you know what you should do? And again, it's not my job to make you like RuPaul's Drag Race. What I'm trying to say is, there were a lot of, for example, How's Your Head? How's Your Head is something I didn't get initially. I researched it and then I figured out that it's from Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And it's such a mainstay in the queer culture that, this camp queer culture. And most of those puns stem from different, and this is something I faced even more when I was watching RuPaul's Drag Race UK, because a lot of the references were just like all over my head. But I kind of read up on them, and it's funny where they came from, and then you kind of get it. So honestly, they're all very
and I know, right?
References.
See, again, I'm not picking on this to be, well, this is technically it's not a sound show. I'm not expecting it to be. And maybe I should have started with this. I fully understand the impact of the show and what it has done for the community. There is no taking away from that. And in that case, I'm not even saying that, they should stop this show, it's so crap. And all. No, please go for 50 seasons if you want. If that's the kind of reach and the visibility we are getting. And honestly, can I tell you something? I've always noticed RuPaul I have like 50 gay friends who love RuPaul and they all talk about RuPaul and they all have the snap in Z formation and they have tons of things that they picked up from RuPaul. But I've so many times noticed in pop culture where straight people are also into RuPaul now. I often, and in that sense, I love the show. You know what I mean? I'll give you a small example. There's a show called Crashing, not the Fleabag girl show, Crashing, the other Pete Holmes one on Hotstar. And in that, they are a couple. There's a straight couple who every night get excited to watch RuPaul's Drag Race. You know what I mean? And I love that. I love that it's kind of breaking through those kind of barriers and making it in the mainstream dialogue in that sense. But the show itself, again, I just hope, and I knew before we get into this episode, that it's not me only, right? A lot of times, even on Keeping It Queer, when I did talk about RuPaul, the number of messages I got that we actually feel very guilty for not liking the show. Gay guys, I know so many people who feel guilty. Why am I not liking the show? Why am I not liking the show? So today, I'm just trying to make sense of why I might not like this show. And again, not like is stupid. Not like it's the perfect show I would love to watch while I don't play Candy Crush, but you know what I mean. I am on Candy Crush or Piche Chal Raha Hai, and cover girl put the who is she already done, had her says whatever's going on. You know, it's going on in the background. But to sit and watch it, I'm like, yesterday I rolled my eyes so much. I was like, okay, you're borderline homophobe, Farhad. Stop it. What's something? And then I watched Ram Prasad Ki Tervi, which I absolutely love. So
yeah, it's a good film.
It undid RuPaul in my head for a bit.
Okay. So here's the thing. Now, again, everyone's not obliged to like, every queer person's not obliged to like RuPaul's Drag Race. But what would make RuPaul's Drag Race better, according to you? What would make it likable? I'm going to
suck the fun out of it if I say it. But I wish it was some level of seriousness. Seriousness about honing these contestants into becoming the best. I'll tell you little problems I've had in the past. I understand how...
Okay. Have you been around drag queens? Like a bunch of drag queens for more than an hour. This is serious for a bunch of drag queens, because that's what Kiki culture is. And I mean, it's raucous, loud, and it's full of life. There's they're at each other's throats, but there is this what you call sisterhood. There's this sense of sorority that's so deep and binding, and that they'll that's
definitely come across to me, and that's something I love it when I see it in the show. I don't know, maybe throughout this episode you'll have to help me with names, but I remember there was that one season where they all are sitting on that stage and RuPaul's talking to all of them, and one girl has a hiss fit and she walks out, and then other people come and support for her. You know what I'm talking about?
Vixen.
Hey, she's had a tough, again, names I don't know, but it was about how I think it was Bob the drag queen, or I don't know. She did not walk out. Bob the drag queen did not walk out, but other people did come in support for the person who walked out, that, hey, this person's been through a lot and whatever. But again, I just feel what would make RuPaul better? I feel first of all, the incentive itself, what's the incentive right now? They get a year-long, makeup?
No, there is A, money. There is B, it partners with WOS events, which basically makes you tour around the world. And that's a lot. Also, what they do is they manage and this is stuff that is not mentioned. They manage your social media for a year. So basically you're set. And this is not just the winner, by the way. This is every single contestant. Okay. It also helps to kind of control the narrative around RuPaul's Drag Race. So on one hand, it's also kind of micromanaging each of them so that there is no negativity about the franchise. But also there are a lot of these girls who aren't very savvy when it comes to social media. So,
which is such an important point, because I follow Plastic Tiara, Bob the Drag Queen, Kimchi, all of them, right? And I love their social media. I love seeing their reels. I love it. So that makes sense. That's such a great... See, that's again helping
it's
them.
Like and literally when they say it's the Olympics of drag, it is the Olympics of drag. Once you win this, one is the exposure that you get. You're a millionaire if you play the cards right within 2 years. And that's what's happened with someone like a Trixie Mattel and Bianca Del Rio, who've sort of honed and played their cards right, and they're kind of cashing in the bucks right now. So it is, I mean, what I do feel is that, the reward of $100,000 is really not enough compared to when I see reality shows like The Circle and Love Island and stuff like that, where you really have to be a loser to be on those.
Yeah.
Whereas here, the kind of challenges, like it's like next season, possibly episode 3, one of the challenges is going to be show us your liver, like give us a sliver of your liver or something like that. It's like really difficult challenges, which really grind you to the bone. And the fashion is not cheap. Like, the kind of clothes that you need to now bring to the runway, it's not cheap. If you are constructing them, it's not easy. So it is a lot of craft involved on this show. And that for me is really fascinating to watch, because you see them going through the gamut.
I've seen that in glimpses so many times, right? I remember for some odd reason, Acid Betty. Concepts, kimchi,
oh my god,
the concepts in terms of makeup. See, I love that. I'm not saying like RuPaul is crap. No, not at all. I felt like I saw so many high concept things, right? Violet Chachki, all of that. I'm just saying the popular ones and maybe not.
No, of course,
And this is not even just about the clothing and the makeup and all, right? Even in terms of body positivity, I've seen so much being done through, but again, I just wish they went easy. First of all, now initially, correct me if I'm wrong, initially RuPaul used to be a 45-minute, 50-minute show. Now it's a 1 hour,
because that's how many sponsors they get. So they need to kind
I'll tell
of
you
increase.
What happens with that. I felt like just keeping season 3 in mind, just stay current with the show, right? I just felt so much of it was like watching a cricket match. In a cricket match, there's a batsman, he hits a 6, and then they show you 10 minutes, and I kept feeling that. So, for example, there was something like who sashay. It was like 20 times in the drag queen pork chop, or like so RuPaul-y, and I felt that a lot from the beginning. Sometimes I felt like this is it's not head, it's head, and I feel like this is a giant vanity, which might be controversial
who knows?
Thing to say. But a lot of times I felt like the kind of when she's walking around, when they all are working on their projects, she's trying to understand all of that. But sometimes I just felt like she does have favorites. She
yes. I agree.
So this whole appease to Ru. I'm like, no, that's not. If it's a reality show, you can't like. Again, I'm not saying there's no proof. I don't know if there is, but there's no proof of like holding someone back so someone else can get ahead. I've not seen that. Proof. But there are eliminations I've seen where I felt like, hey, that's so not stupid. First of all, this person has worked so hard to get here, get into this show. Out of God knows how many drag queens are these 10 or 13 drag queens selected every year. These people have inherently tough lives that they've had to challenge, get over to make it, and then I can only imagine. One of my favorite things about RuPaul's is in the final episode when they're going to crown the winner. A lot of times when the families, when the families come and they talk to, I love that part because again, it kind of gets you to the reality of the show, right? Like what these people have been through, the kind of struggles they have, the kind of acceptance they've had to fight for, the kind of acceptance they get, they don't get, their families don't show up. I don't know. But sometimes I feel like just a simple lip sync is not, again, I get lip sync is such a huge part of this, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know, I've just felt like sometimes I've seen great performers just go away because they did not hit the line properly.
Again, here's the thing. So this is something that I've tried to explain a lot of people. There's a difference between drag as an art and RuPaul's Drag Race. RuPaul's Drag Race is a competition, which is a format, which is a format that has worked. It doesn't need to change itself to be something else. There are fantastic drag queens who would not, and in fact, there have been fantastic drag queens who are like really well off, who are doing really well for themselves and who've been on RuPaul's Drag Race and not performed well because the format doesn't serve them. The format is such that it serves someone who is a jack of all trades, master of none. And the format really works for people who are performers rather than just fashion queens. So there has to be an element of sort of, stage performance in a big way. And if you don't have that, then that kind of sort of this format doesn't work. So I do agree with that point where, sometimes there are super talented, like for example, season 12, I really, really thought Jackie Cox was one of the best contestants among all of them, and she didn't even win a single challenge. She was high on a lot of challenges, but that's a classic example of someone who is super talented, is successful on the New York front, but the format doesn't serve her because she is not a fashion queen to that extent that, every runway will be a glorious moment for her. So,
See, that's another thing, right? I get that's what makes RuPaul, right? There's no set parameter which can define what is going to... Today, if I see a project runway, you just need to be an out-of-the-box creative fashion designer. Yeah. That's it. Maybe you have to make a dress out of garbage sometimes. Maybe you have to... But I get how, even though it's like sometimes it's downright silly, but I get how the criteria in RuPaul's can be varied in terms of not only making dresses, but in one episode. Honestly, the only episode I used to look forward to in every season was the giant, where they all are like, what is that?
Snatch Game.
What's it called?
Snatch Game.
Snatch Game. I love that, because again, spontaneous, I get that. But someone who might be fantastic at fashion might not be might not be a humorist. I'll tell you, yesterday in the new season, I was watching Attica. Yeah, Utica. Yeah. Sorry, the tall clown.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always have a soft spot for the funny guy, the funny guy who are like overtly funny or try to be overtly funny. I somehow have always...
Oh, you should see her Snatch Game. It's infamous now.
Oh, because she did something stupid?
Because it will go down in history as one of the worst Snatch Games. And it's not even like worst as in boring, like so bad that it's good.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God. For some odd reason, I remember who was the one who was a lookalike of the Kardashian, the drag queen? The Asian girl, you know who I'm talking about?
Gia Gunn?
Yeah, where, she tried to be a Kardashian.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was so embarrassed for her in that entire Snatch Game. It was awful. Yeah. But then sometimes I see Whoopi Goldberg and I see Oprah and all of them in person. It's hilarious. I love Snatch Game. But again, coming back to, I feel like if it is not defined, it's just I'm just trying to sound like some client in some servicing advertising meeting. But because the parameter is not defined, and I feel like it will always be an injustice to someone else because nobody is 360 degrees. And I know in the end, they choose the one.
But that's the point. Yeah, that's the point.
I got that. But then that's where I felt like, but this winner is not that funny.
But here's the thing. Like, you are not crowning the funniest. You're crowning the most, someone who made the most impact through the season.
So then would you say that it is what my idea of drag is that makes...
No, so it's no.
Because
I'll tell you what I've judged. I've judged, and I actually I want to kind of step into like a listicle sort of a thing with you after this. But what I figured is really at the end of the day, every season the winner is the person who is selected as a winner is the one who has created the most impact in the audience's minds. The most impact. And it's not about social impact so much as a well-rounded impact, like someone who very clearly
community call of it.
Well-rounded and very clearly comes off as someone who is the future of drag for, let's say, the next 1 or 2 years. And if you look at the people who kind of have been chosen, of course there are exceptions, but Jada Essence Hall and Evie Oddly and even this year's
Evie Oddly.
So Sasha Velour, all of them were exactly that. Aquaria, they were considered the future of drag. They were the future of drag. So I mean that's how RuPaul judges the favorite. And I understand that from RuPaul's point of view, because she's got a brand to run. The winner depends millions and millions of dollars worth of tickets around the world. So this person has to be someone who stands for something, who
presents
big, presents well, turns it out on the stage, is talented, is not a loose cannon. So it's, I think that's what the thing is at the end of the day. So, I mean, at the end of the day, RuPaul said this again and again, that I'm the one signing the check, so I get to choose who wins.
I've heard that a lot.
I've heard that. And I get that. I completely get that. But I do. Sure. But I want to ask you, which of the judges do you like most? And which of the judges do you like the least?
Carlton Cressley. I love him the most. I don't know. He's got my he says the kind of shit that I actually chuckle at. The other one, Ross. What's his name? Bob Ross?
No. I'm forgetting. As in Ross the intern, whatever. Like now, I don't remember his whole name.
There's four of them, right? Basically, you're one of the main four, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So first off, my least favorite, RuPaul. I don't know.
And why?
Again, I just feel like her part is, if you think about it, okay, and again, I'm just reeling back to last year when RuPaul was a huge chunk of my life during the first few, so I might not remember correctly, but I remember, like, in the end, it's my call. In the end, I will decide. But it's the other people like Michelle Visage, I was going to say. Michelle Visage, Carlton Cressley, and Ross. I'm forgetting his name.
Yeah, Ross Matthews.
They're the ones who actually say what they like, what they don't like. Right? RuPaul is just there to wave her this at the end and like, silence. I'm like, relax. So I don't see anything like super constructive coming from her, and I get it. Again, that's the format of the show. She doesn't have to say jack shit.
I get your point.
It's her show. I get it. She's her money. All of it works.
Yeah.
But why is she not my favorite host? Because I don't think she actually, apart from laughing or acknowledging something funny happening on stage, I don't think she actually. She just has the bird's eye view of, I think this person is it. But it's the other people who actually weigh the pros and cons. What dress was good, what did not work, what was this. I like that, because again, that's constructive to me. Do you have a favorite?
I actually love Michelle Visage's critiques the most, because they're genuinely the most honest, and she's honest about things that she's got a bias about. Like she says things like, I don't like green, that's why I don't like this dress. I'm being honest about it. But I love how, and I've seen her over the years, like she also questions a lot of things. Like there used to be a lot of criticism about the shape. And today, everything's being questioned in terms of, why does a drag queen need to have that hourglass shape? Why can't we have a realistic stubby shape? And she's also evolving with the times. I really like her. Well, who I don't like is Ross Matthews, because I just feel like his critiques are so clientish, which are not, it's how client says, I don't feel it. I feel like a lot of his critique is, it comes from whim rather than an objective, a criticism that can be worked on.
Maybe that's why he is on the panel, because they do, like you said, right? Michelle is the no bullshit, this is as it is. RuPaul is just quiet. Carlton Cressley is the little puns and zingers and, funny this. And then I get what you're saying about Ross. Again, Ross Matthews?
Ross Matthews, yeah.
God, sounds like some 90s R&B hip-hop person. Sorry. Ross Matthews is the more, अच्छा नहीं लगा और कुछ दिखाओ types. I get it. So, I wanted to ask you, like, who, if you had to pick one, I don't know if this is a tough question, but like, the one drag queen through and through.
Are you talking about a winner?
Your one drag queen.
Okay. Oh, God, it's so difficult. Okay, let me break it up into a winner and non-winner. Okay. If I had to pick a winner, I'll tell you why. If I have to pick a winner, there would be two people I would pick. One would, I think most of the world would pick Bianca Del Rio. But a non-winner...
Is that a thing? Because if you ask me, my favorite was her. I'll tell you why later, but
I just feel like she's like the smartest. Like she's one of the smartest people I've seen on screen. And also at the same time, you saw the layers sort of come out and,
exactly. That's my
like
reason.
she like, she's gruffy, but then, at the end of the day, she's a softie at heart. Like Bianca, but in terms of another winner, I absolutely love Sasha Velour. I absolutely love, like, if I have to pick someone who really crafts, is a definition of future of drag, it's her, because she has a show called Night Counts, which is like a monthly sort of a drag performance. The kind of visual performances that I've seen over there, it's mind-blowing. And of course, the kind of social outreach that I've seen her do, the kind of creativity I've seen with makeup, with costumes, and a large part of her costumes are conceptualized by her. And so I think winners would be these two. But if I had to pick a non-winner for the ages, I absolutely love Malala Luzon, because
okay.
Because and based off of like not All Stars 1, but like All Stars 4 and season 2.
I thought he was beautiful. Like he just was so good looking.
Yeah. And what I love is Manila Luzon brings the world of camp in such a fashion forward way, because camp is considered ugly, but and the ugly aesthetic is very central to camp, but she brings camp in such a beautiful, well-rounded way, and she's fucking funny, she's bloody smart, she's got the zingers rolling, very creative. So these three are my but who are your favorites?
Oh, you already said it. Easy, Bianca Del Rio, only because, again, from a person who now is obvious doesn't like the show so much, I felt that season was a little real, and Bianca Del Rio highlighted the realness of the show. This whole, which again is a form of drag, I guess, right? The whole, breaking down what drag is, right? You can be anybody you want to be, right? If that is the thing, I like that the prominence of that season rested on the fact that, hey, you have all these facades and walls and everything up, but under that you can be, which is why what you said, right? For the first time I saw a layered, funny, keep at an arm's length kind of person, but actually is the mother of the group, I related to that very hard, because I like to believe I am that person, not fuck the funny. Maybe I'm not as funny as Bianca Del Rio for sure, but I felt like a lot of my friends have brought that to me, where I am that guy in my group who's always like, I'm always zinging, I'm always sarcastic, but it comes from a place of bettering the other person. And I know that's actually, some people are assholes and they do that, tough love. No, it's not tough love. I just like to poke fun in a way where the person is fond of me, I'm fond of them, and that I've managed to do that well. So I really related to Bianca Del Rio when she was on the show. Especially if she was crying also, you know what I mean? Like it was great.
Got it.
I love that. But apart from that, I have... conceptually, I used to like Sasha Velour a lot. Yeah, in terms of concepts. Again, I don't know why. She was... I might be confusing. But yeah. It was Sasha Velour the one who takes the crown off and there are petals falling and...
her wig off.
Her wig off, and So that was a moment for me.
Oh my God, that was a moment for Drag Race.
Exactly, right? So I kind of have seen where the show peaks in that sense, and in those moments I have found who's Monet Exchange, Bob the Drag Queen.
Okay, so I want to ask
Kimchi.
this.
Sorry, before we move.
Yeah.
I loved Kimchi because again, Kimchi was
super creative.
super creative, but like so conscious of her body.
Yeah.
Her mother has no idea, and sorry, am I misgendering? Am I pronounced right? I don't know how to discuss it.
Kimchi identifies as a he,
I'm again, I feel it's coming late in
but
this episode,
drag queens we can call she, because that's
she, right? Even when you said Manila Luzon, I was immediately like, oh, he's so fucking hot. But then I thought, oh, I can't say he's hot. So I went into that zone. So again, if anyone's listening, I'm sorry at any point if I this. But
Kimchi.
Sorry, Kimchi, just wow, you cannot touch that person in the art that they wield. You know
beautiful,
what I mean? Like,
absolutely
stunning. The concepts, the everything. But to find such a broken, I like seeing that process. Hey, you can be a fractured human being and still be such a great artist and not know that you're a great artist. So I love that. So I would say that whenever I like the little face you made when I said Monet Exchange.
I'll come to that. So, okay. Tell me who your not least favorite, but then who do you think according to you, are the least deserving winners?
Wow, again, I wouldn't know, because honestly, the only winners I remember are Violet Chachki and.
Do you think Violet Chachki deserved to win?
No. Not really. But again, see, that's the thing, right? It makes me question, okay, if it's clothes and if it's sometimes I feel it's the message that needs to be put out, right? That, hey, you don't need to be a 10-year, 20-year into the drag business to be a veteran and win this, Sometimes you could be the future of the of what drag is. So I felt Violet Chachki was chosen because of that.
Could be, of course.
Could be. I felt that. I might be wrong. Yeah.
No, you are right. But there are two people I feel like just like. And I'm obviously talking about at that point of time, given the kind of performance in on the show. One was Violet Chachki. I think that Ginger Minj should have won for sure.
Ginger Minj, wow!
Ginger Minj was. I just hope that she can be on a future season of All Stars or All Stars International or something like that, where she gets to win, because that person, I mean, can sing like a bloody angel, can perform like no one's business. One was that, and the second one I felt was Monet Exchange. I'm not saying for 1 second that Monet Exchange is not talented. I just feel like in a season where there was Manila, there was Trinity, she ended up winning All Stars in a tie. Like, I'm sorry, I could not make peace with that. I just didn't think her performance through the show warranted her to be like the winner.
I totally remember the name Ginger Minj, but while you're talking, I had to Google her. I loved her back then. I don't know why I did not remember that. She was so good, so funny. Like you said, I remember her singing so well.
Oh my god!
Like, she's stunning.
So there's a video, and I urge you guys to check it out. It's a couple of drag race, drag queens, doing a tribute for Harvey Fierstein. And she's the one singing, and there are others like Alyssa Edwards and the biggies who are kind of backup dancers. The vocals on this person, oh my god, like I died. What a singer, like deserves to be on Broadway, like is so talented. So yeah, like speaking of non-deserving winners, I want to. Sorry, go ahead.
What's your lip sync game like? I wonder what's
I am really bad because I don't remember words. I really suck at words. That's why I hate karaoke. I hate.
You mean lyrics? Like you're bad at
lyrics. Yeah. Okay. But coming to that, most iconic lip sync according to you? Like, what's your favorite one lip sync? If you had to pick one lip sync where you would have said, "Oh motherfuck," just like, "Oh my god." I wish I was there to see this live.
See, that's the thing, right? I'm racking my brains. It's a year ago. I don't remember which ones, but I remember certain moments. Well, I can't think of the top of my head, but Yeah, no, I don't remember.
You don't remember a single lip sync?
If you go first, I will Google and I will tell you, oh my God, this one. Because I remember random moments from lip syncs where someone's wig got stuck once. I remember there was there,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that was a great lip sync,
but
sometimes one of the reasons I enjoy lip syncs is because I'm an 80s, 90s kid. So suddenly to get a Paula Abdul song, to get a Janet Jackson song, I have a great time watching it, but I have no memory of a lip sync as such. Like,
okay, we'll circle back to that.
Yeah,
but,
because if you ask me, I remember there was this one episode where they had to like make a hip hop music.
No, I'm not talking about those. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about like lip sync for your life, like
finale, like a battle.
Not the finale.
Yeah, no, like a general battle, a lip sync.
Yeah, because I mean, there have been some iconic ones which just like are mainstays now. But like, I don't want to say something where I don't have your input, but I'll come to another question then. Favorite fashion, like in terms of who do you think showed the best fashion game till date, like according to you?
Wow, I feel like I'm not a good friend in this. Again, the thing.
I mean, you like kimchi.
I love kimchi, obviously. Okay, that's an easy. Yeah, kimchi. Kimchi. Fashion, makeup.
Fashion. I mean, fashion, makeup together.
Sure.
Like,
makeup, kimchi. But sometimes I don't remember what Plastic Tiara was on the show, but I do follow her on Instagram.
Yeah, of course. But on the show, she was very like one note. I felt like she was pretty. She was just resting on pretty. Fierce dancer, but like off. Like she's a performer. Funny thing is,
a lot of times when you ask, while we are having this conversation, right? I remember not liking her as a contestant, but I remember for some reason, Acid Betty's looks and clothes and all have stayed with me. I'm not saying I did not like her at all because again, eyes, very like snarky and unnecessarily.
But the fashion was insane.
Exactly. So
insane.
Can I say Acid Betty?
Of course, why not?
Like it was very neon, cyberpunk.
She's in my top 15, like for sure.
Top 15.
Yeah.
And not even like a 5 or a 3. Like top 15.
No, there are also, I mean, see, she's not in the top 5 because there are others who've stayed longer and shown more, unfortunately. So, that's why.
Okay, I have an important question to ask. So, I'm partially initiated, but for the uninitiated, the people who wonder why don't I like Drag Race, okay? Do you have some tidbits about, hey, maybe you should watch it at this time? Maybe you should not watch. Do you have any, like, off the top of your head? It's okay if that's a stupid question.
I mean, it's a relaxed viewing. So it's a weekend view. That's why it airs on a Friday.
Do you watch every episode or you binge all of them together? Like
I watch it. So when a season comes, so here's the thing. I watch UK, Canada, and US. I decided to watch every episode as it comes out. But something like a Drag Race Holland, or right now, I'm okay with watching Drag Race Down Under after the whole season is done. So like, are
these also on Netflix or?
No, they aren't. They're all over the place.
So you have to stream them, like or 1, 2, 3 movies types.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. And apart from the American one, which would you say is the one?
Oh, Americans actually I mean, I would say UK and Canada are far superior, far superior. Also, if you had to look at fashion concepts, you should look at Drag Race Holland and Drag Race Thailand, like the kind of stuff.
I was just going to say, is there a Drag Race Thailand?
Yes, and Drag Race Thailand, they people set themselves on fire and stuff. Like it's just crazy. Like there was, I think there was a dragon sort of a costume, and like this person came and like set the dress on fire. So it was like a flaming dragon. It was, my God, the kind of amazing stuff.
That I would totally watch, because instantly in my head, as a culture drag in Thailand, you can just imagine.
And unfortunately, US is so restricted by what you can do within a set and stuff like that. So for example, the kind of fireworks you can bring are like these fuljhadis, for example, which you can't do, like, which just not know that. It's not impactful. So I would say, I'll tell you why. I'm like, my favorite has been Canada because, there was no RuPaul there. So there was no sense of one person can make the decision. So it seemed like it rested on a jury and it felt like the jury had to pick. So everyone's word counted. Secondly, I think this is what happens when it's your first season in your country where you're less restricted. You're not so filtered. You're not thinking, oh my God, I will get fan backlash for this. So there's just more open, like, it's freewheeling. So I loved Canada's Drag Race season 1. Like, it was crazy. It was really good.
Yeah. After Schitt's Creek, I was like, okay, Canada has these cute little, less money, but great impact kind of shows. So I'll definitely, Canada and Thailand, I got to check out.
Yeah, definitely.
So I would totally watch that in a heartbeat. Like, I'm already excited to watch the Thailand edition because, again, I don't know, man. I've tried enough now. And I feel like for me, this has been a journey with RuPaul's because Naveen, who I did Keeping It Queer with, he's the biggest RuPaul fan again, one of the biggest. And with him, I had this constant, Farhad, you've got to.
No, you don't have to. That's the thing.
See, that's the thing. I'm not even saying I need to be convinced, right? Because like I said, and from whatever little I've said, you understood that I've watched it with the intention of what is this? And this is what I like, this is what I don't like. And I'm not even talking about, we've not even broached the problematic themes of RuPaul. Are there anything problematic about RuPaul? And I'm not even saying, the fracking issue or
no. Like within the RuPaul universe,
honestly, I wouldn't even know what is problematic within the show, apart from some kind of favoritism that is.
No, I mean, apart from
sometimes.
Apart from favoritism, I think there is a massive culture of you need to be a fashion queen to succeed in this universe. You need to be, if you're not fashion forward, you can't be a drag queen. And the kind of abuse and trolling that the fandom has, it's kind of toxic, where and of course there's a lot of
as in, who do they troll? Contestants.
Like ardent supporters, if they feel like, their supporter, their contestants kind of, let's say, got eliminated through a lip sync. And the kind of racism that you see from the fandom, like, the kind of followers you would see a very average white drag queen get versus a fucking talented black drag queen get. It's just like, you ask yourself, why? And that's where you question, is this queer anymore? Or has it become a white girl's binge watch?
But no, yesterday I was watching the episode. I was amazed that there were hardly, for the longest, the white people, the white contestants are far and apart. Let's just put it like that. I have not seen in season 13 at least. Correct me.
The representation has been it's better. The one thing that the show kind of, and I've also had a problem with, is how they used to treat contestants whose first language wasn't English. So my point is, this is a format where someone whose first language is in English is bound to fail. So how do you, why bother? Why are you bringing them in for them to, like, it's almost like you're setting them up to fail. So I think that's something that I used to have a problem with, but I mean, it's been addressed.
I can't remember anyone. I just remember one.
A lot of
the one who kept talking about her ass. What was her name? Tutti, something. She's,
Cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
But anyway,
my God. Those things really get stuck in your head sometimes. I remember when the Cuckoo was on, I would keep saying Cuckoo all the time, or Miss Vanjie. Sometimes I find myself constantly saying Miss Van. I'm taking a piss and I'm just like, Miss Vanjie.
Well, she became a meme. She minted money out of that. So anyway, but like, I think as a closing thing, I would just say that RuPaul's Drag Race is just like any other, queer show that sort of has come to become pervasive and define sort of queer culture in the pop culture sort of scenario. So I just feel like no one should feel the pressure to like it. If you like it, then great. If you don't, then great. Give it a shot. It's just that it's just one of those at its core, it's a lot of joy to watch. And if it doesn't sync with you, I mean, I don't like 80% of the queer movies that are out there because of X number of reasons.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, then, I mean, question why you don't like it. But then at the end of the day, if you don't like it, you don't like it. You're not obliged to like a show, like, peer pressure. Like you shouldn't get into that. So yeah, like, let it be something of joy.
Whatever Sunetro said. Because I feel that too, right? Again, if you notice the trajectory of our conversation today, it started with, hey, me not liking the show. As in, it's not even about liking the show. It's just, you like it, you don't like it, you don't like it.
Yeah, the fuck
absolutely. It's, but don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad about it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there are 20 other queer things you will find. Like watch Drag Race, watch Boulay Brothers Dragula. It's like a darker, edgier version of Drag Race, which
Boulay a lot of Brothers Dragula.
Dragula, yeah.
Okay.
So like if you think this is on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so if you don't like RuPaul's Drag Race, try that out. That's like drag at its edgiest and most least mainstream. So maybe that's something that you will like. So yeah.
I'll definitely check that out.
Yep. Okay. So on that note, we are shutting this segment down and we'll be back for the last segment, which is Small Talk.
Okay.
पेश खिदमत है आपकी शान में हमारे अंजुमन से. Hi, I am Sadaf.
And I'm Arshit. खाने का इतिहास, economics, policy, psychology, सब है मेन्यू पे.
Only on the Nankari podcast every Wednesday. सिर्फ IVM podcast app या वेबसाइट पर या फिर जहां से भी आप अपने podcast सुनते हो.
All right, coming to Small Talk, our recommendation section this week. So Farhad, what's your recommendation? What do you want people to watch, listen, eat, blah, whatever?
Okay. I have two artists, music artists. What am I saying? I'd love to recommend Jessie Ware.
Oh my God, I've worshipped her since, her first song release, since her first song.
I was always the biggest fan. And I'll take the second name quickly. I don't know how it's pronounced. I say Róisín Murphy, but turns out in an interview she said Róisín Murphy.
Oh wow! So I've been mispronouncing it all my life.
Yeah, even I've been saying Róisín Murphy, but it's apparently she says Róisín Murphy. I will tell you why. I have been a fan of both of them pre since forever. Yeah. But both of them came out with albums post-pandemic. Okay. And they are so good. They are so good, and they are the new gay. Sometimes I feel like what's considered as gay music is a little pandering types, obviously gay, But in terms of quality production, dance tracks, I have to say the last album of each of these artists, Róisín Murphy in fact made an album and then made an entire separately album just of remixes of those songs, and even that is a banging this. Jessie Ware came out with a new song 3 days ago. So good. I was like, I said something so insensitive yesterday on Twitter. Well, liked it, but I said, they are literally, at this point, these albums are so good, they are frontline workers, these two albums have got me through so much. And I'm not an album listener, so I don't know the name of the album, but just look up Jessie Ware, just look up Róisín Murphy, and the songs they came out with after 2020, outstanding. Just so dancey, so upbeat, that you almost feel guilty for wanting to feel so dancey, while the world is just crap right now.
Yeah, I mean, I second that completely.
Those are pretty much my recommendations.
Yeah.
What have you watched recently?
So I watched this movie. I watched this film called The Mitchells versus the Machines, and it's this joyful joyride where with a queer character at the center, and I loved the fact that the queerness was informed so beautifully, but not in a way where it was part of the main narrative. Okay. But it's basically a film about a family, like a dysfunctional family. It's an animated film. It's a dysfunctional film where a family where they are on a road trip, and a robot apocalypse arrives, and they are the only family that kind of escapes it. So like this bunch of like family members who don't get along with each other have to kind of save the world. And it's super funny. It's so warm. So like there were so many moments which just like made me tear up. So it's like almost Pixar, you know what I mean? Okay. Like it's not there, but like it's almost Pixar. But yeah, it was a beautiful watch. I urge you guys to go watch it. It's lovely, and it'll just in shitty times like this. I
added it to my watch list while you were talking. Like,
yeah, in shitty times like this, you just need these kind of feel goods. Yeah. The Mitchell versus the Machines. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay. I guess that's it for this week.
That's it for this week. We'll kind of be here back talking next week again. And so yeah, see you guys here in a week.
Bye.
Bye.
If you love cricket, listen up. The Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast is here for you. Hosted by DJ, Varun, and me, Ashwin, we bring a fun, fresh fan's point of view to talking all things cricket. Sometimes it's just the three of us, sometimes we have guests, including current and former international cricketers. For new episodes every week, check out the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast on the IVM app, website, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Feeling overwhelmed, anxious, struggling with too many obstacles, don't know where your life is headed? Well, if you are dealing with one or all of these, tune into the Positively Unlimited podcast, because in each episode, I share a life lesson, a life hack, a pro tip that can help you get your life back on track. All episodes are available on the IBM website, IBM Podcast app, or wherever it is that you get your podcast from.